So in order to set up the candy box, you're going to need to get out a piece of candy or take your drawing out, and you're going to be redrawing in pencil a partial blind candy to paint. Before you start painting, make sure that your pencil lines are light. Go over them with your white eraser if need be. So you're going to see me do two different examples, and I'm going to start by wetting the colors I want to use. I'm going to start off by showing you a gradient that fades from dark along the edges to a little bit different color towards the edge of the candy itself. So you'll see me painting a darker blue-green around the edge of the box, and then I'm going to paint a lime green around the edge of the candy, and I'm going to allow those to meet neatly where the colors touch each other. So hopefully you've noticed I'm only painting the background to begin. We will paint the candy once the background is dry, but you need to make sure that the background is done first. Please be careful not to get any water or paint inside the candy itself, as the paint is only going to travel where the paper is wet. Now on the lower half of this candy, you're going to see me switching colors completely. I'm just trying to get an idea of what I might like on the paper. So now I'm trying the wet on wet technique down here with a little bit of a fade from blue into purple. And also remember that it's much easier to connect colors that are closely related and might touch each other on the color wheel. If you're choosing to do the wet on wet, you can decide if you want to add salt or not, but don't add salt to the gradient. It doesn't really look as good as the wet on wet technique. Now, once you're sure your background is dry, you can start actually painting into the candy itself. Think about what colors you'll be using. I'm going to use a yellow and a pink, and I'm going to let a little bit of the green background show through the cellophane. So I start with yellow because it's my lightest color, and once that dries, I'll be able to start some of the pink watermelon Jolly Rancher color next to it. Now in the candies themselves, you can do little gradients to begin. You can start by adding some bolder color to your edges and then fading it to a little bit lighter as you get towards the center of the candy itself. Then you're going to let these layers dry, and you're going to repeat this process a few times. So when it comes to the clear candy wrappers, you can either try a lighter version of the background color, or you can even try a completely different color altogether. So if you find yourself struggling to do details with a thicker brush, you can let me know and I'll give you a thinner one that might be a little bit more precise. Just another reminder, don't forget you have to let your glaze layers dry or you're going to get a lot of blurring and kind of pooling of the watercolor media. You're going to see me go over to the other side of the candy, and I'm going to use some of those blue and purple background colors to do just a little bit of glazing on the clear wrapper. Now that I've let my candy dry a little bit, I'm going to add a bolder layer of color where the candy kind of peeks through the opening of the wrapper. And because I've let layers dry, I can get a nice crisp line. If you decided to use salt on your painting practice, please remember to remove it when it's dry. You can rub it off with your fingers or use an ID card. Now if you finish before class ends and your painting is dry, you can put it in your binder. Otherwise, please use the drying rack to store your wet paper until the next day. Once this is completely dry, I'm also going to be showing you how to add some pen details on top. So yet another practice.